Hello, hello. Welcome to pixelpushers. I'm your host, Deepak, and we have a special show at Gamescom where we invited our friend Jaime to come interview and tell us about his journey and his latest game on Horizon Worlds and his previous game on VR Quest. But before I do that, I want to introduce my co-host, Jake.
What's up, everybody? Live from Gamescom 2025 here in Cologne, Germany. It's great to be here. I'm Jake Steinerman, another developer advocate. I'll almost drop the mic because this is a baby mic. This is like the time I have giant hands and I have to hold it like I'm holding like a little tea kettle or something. This is a mic for ants. This is so small. But Dilmer, you want to go next? If you can don't drop it.
It looks like a baby mic, but it's actually a professional mic. So, well, today we're really excited to introduce you to a pretty amazing XR creator. And we want to know about your journey. Like, how did you start into XR? How was that process? Walk us through, because I know the audience is going to be very interested in it.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for having me. That is the first thing. It is an honor, especially now here at Gamescom doing it live. Or live, it's recorded. It is live.
It was live.
All you want.
Actually, I have a very proud road that we have followed for our studio. We actually didn't start in
First, you
VR.
tell them your studio.
Oh, sure. Oh, yes, OhShape. So I run OhShape, which is a XR exclusive studio in the south of Spain. We're 45 people. Most of them are remote. We have a fun, crazy office. You're all welcome to visit anytime, by the way.
And you.
Yes, right. But not all of them at the same time. Please.
All at once.
And we've been doing VR exclusively for 6 years. Right before then, we were doing IoT, so we were doing connected devices in the e-health industry. And I want to also tell you, do not put your eggs all in the same basket. And I'll tell you. So basically, we had the biggest client in Spain, and we were developing smart thermometers that you would connect to your iPhone and have an app, and like smart lamps, lots of things for e-health, especially for kids. And one of our founders, he was extremely passionate about VR. He had invested in LBEs at one point, and we had a little bit of cash, and we wanted to reinvest it. So we just hired one VR developer. We did a idea competition internally, and one of the ideas won, and we decided to just put a small budget for 8 to 9 months for that developer to work on it. We got with that game called OhShape. Probably you know it if you've been in the VR space for a while. We didn't start with it, and then Rita was like, I really like that game. So that game got us into Quest. Right where we got into Quest, our main client on the connected devices, they just were like, we're not working with you guys anymore. We're slashing the contract retroactively, which I didn't know it was possible. And that's how we actually pivoted, reshuffled the company, and started dedicating to VR when OhShape started taking off.
So what was your first experience? Like, you did develop an application for VR. Is that application in the store right now? What was the process? How many people work in it? Because I know a lot of people here might be starting, or they might be pretty experienced. So I'm just curious your take on that.
Actually, and I hope I can send you guys a clip of it, because the way we validated, so we did the internal contest idea, and there were lots of ideas, but one of them was OhShape. And the way it was presented to the team, it was literally, so imagine 2 dudes in front of a TV with a slideshow of walls, like with shapes trimmed of them, and then music playing. And it was just on autoplay, and they were dancing to it in front of a TV. That's how we validated the idea. And that was what we based the concept of the game on. Today, you can vibe code something, but back in the day, we did just a slideshow, and that was incredible. So just with that developer, when he was started with the prototypes, we tried it. It was amazing. We hired a small team, got into start program. That's how we started understanding all the tools that were possible, getting also in touch with Meta. And then we lined that launch together with the Quest 1. So that was back in 2020. And with that, we we started getting some revenue that said, okay, there is a business here. So that game has been in the store since 2020, and we've been updating it, and has been actually one of our flagships until now.
What keeps you going and more into the VR space?
So I think having first is the passion of one of the founders. That's what drove us into it. But also, there's 4 founders. 2 of them are very busy here, that's me and the CEO, Anna, and then the other 2 are very technical. They brought the passion into it. And the minute we saw that actually that was what it was looking a growing market, for us, we validated that idea. And we also brought the nature of the development of connected devices into this. So that's one of the topics I actually wanted to talk about, which is we started not only looking for the business side of the game, so we trusted our designers and our funders on what to build. But we also brought in the relationship with the platforms in terms of technology. So we started doing portings, but we started pioneering with every single new technology that could come in, like hand tracking. So, for example, Chess Club, we pitched Chess Club with hand tracking when it was very unstable. So we managed to match concept that we liked with pioneering technology.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that when you align your resources with a new technology, usually you find partners that are willing to mitigate the risk through funding.
Yeah.
So that has always kept us going, and we have had a fairly healthy split between revenue from sales and revenue from funding, reportings, and things like that. So that's how we have managed to grow from the 6 or 8 that we started with OhShape to now the 45 people that we are.
No, that's amazing. I think he hits on a great point, and that is and this reminds me of the early days of iPhone, right? Like if you use some of the new features such as LiDAR or some of the hardcore features that the operating system is offering, platforms tend to feature developers. So that's kind of a testament of like Meta also doing things like that, where you're using hand tracking, you're using, I would imagine we use movement SDK with some of the movement fitness type of experiences. So maybe give us a walkthrough of what technology do you use, what SDKs, what things work, what things didn't work, what do you recommend the audience to explore that might be like a step into the future? So, and as a CEO, I think you have a lot of, a lot of feedback on that, right?
Correct. So that's what I mentioned before. It's really important that you make smart decisions in terms of, okay, what is marketable and what is the pioneering technology. The reason why platforms are willing to invest in fund is because it's not validated yet. And you don't know whether adding hand tracking to your game will make you sell more, right? But also, when those technologies take off, you are first in line, right? So that's something that we've done. We have been launching 1 game per year since 2020. So first we did OhShape, then we did Chess Club with the hand tracking part. Then we jumped into fitness because one of the things that happened during the pandemic, of course, we started seeing lots of reviews on OhShape saying, this is my go-to cardio. I always say it was 35%. I always make up that number. But there was a lot of them. So we actually prototyped that and we showed that to Meta, and they gave us a very small grant to actually develop it into a fitness app. But then we also took the risk of, okay, how can we actually partner with a big name so we can actually grow this to a bigger audience than ourselves? And that's how we use that small funding to build a prototype that then we started showing to companies. And we got Les Mills, which is one of the biggest and largest fitness companies in the group fitness category. And they just agreed to put their name and trainers on it. And we funded the whole thing ourselves. We took the risk. And that became BODYCOMBAT, which was the best application on the Meta Quest store in 2022. So we have always try to have one angle of something that is validated, but then pioneering other things. Again, you need to know what's your level of risk. We have always been reinvesting in the company, and that has allowed us the level of risk. If you don't have that, maybe try not to go into that risk space. But it's always, every year there's something out there, and we have such an evolving technology that I think trying to find that win-win, it really brings value both to the studio and the platforms you work with.
What was it that brought you to fitness? I mean, are you a fitness kind of junkie yourself? I mean, well, like, were you doing it in your spare time? Like during COVID, you wanted to do it?
Did you notice?
I was going to say, I mean, especially compared to me, there's nothing going on here and there's a lot more going on there. Maybe I need to be doing FitXR, fitness stuff a lot more. Body count, excuse me, body count, that's what I meant. Body count, yeah, a lot more. But yeah, what was it that brought you?
So that was actually my personal interest. I've been doing fitness my whole life, and actually, I started with VR personally. It's a funny anecdote. When I was working on a mobile phone, in an event we hosted, we had the first time that Beat Saber was showcased in a booth. It was in our event. I tried it, loved it, got my first Oculus Rift, and I started working out with Pulse VR that then turned into FitXR. So I saw that, validated that myself, and pushed it and shoved it into the faces of my other founders, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see, because it was validated with the data from OhShape's feedback. So that's what got us there. And then I had seen Les Mills. So Les Mills, they're not known that much for the brand, but the programs are. So they have BODYCOMBAT and BODYPUMP. They're present in 20,000 gyms in the world. So you go there, it's a group fitness class. And to me, it made a lot of sense because you're basically just following up the instructions of a coach. And then with the validated mechanics from Vox VR, I was like, this is a no-brainer. But also, we brought an innovation that no one had done there. When we launched, there was a movement that is called knee strike. So basically, you grab a target and you break it as if you were breaking a cardboard. We're not tracking your knee.
Yeah.
You guys know that.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. But at the time, in 2022, we actually made it work. And it felt like that. And that was a differentiator as well against the other competitors, which we really liked. But yes, fitness was basically something I loved and pushed it pretty hard.
That's awesome, man. Especially, yeah, I remember those experiences like doing the knee strikes. And I was amazed by that because there's no leg tracking and stuff in there. So where else do you want to see kind of the technology go? Whether it's fitness or just, VR in general, to bring more people into it or just stuff that interests you from a technology perspective?
Well, there's lots of things. Actually, in terms of, I think, tracking, I think what is important is that the technology fits the product and it actually adds value. I think that many people have gotten into a trap of let's just some hand tracking or mixed reality to everything. Now, each experience has a technology that actually amplifies its value. And I think that is what is first and foremost the decision, what you need to base it on. So I'm very, very excited, especially about how to make people connect in a seamless way and how to showcase that. I think that Meta is especially the best place to make that happen. But VR is a bliss when you can share with everyone, with your friends, or even getting to know people. And mixed reality also empowers that with bringing your people to your own physical space. I think that is the part that excites me the most. I would say also, in terms of tracking, especially for fitness, MR unlocked safety. It was super, super important. So you don't see that many videos now of people breaking the things around the house. Tracking, I think, is something that will add a lot of value, but it has so much friction yet because you really need a phone, more gadgets around. So in terms of technology for game design, I think the social element to actually seamlessly bring people to you in VR or MR, I think that is what we will see in the coming years becoming easier and easier.
No, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna take it a step further. Like we all love VR, we all love MR. What about wearables? What kind of experience are you thinking about making with fitness that would apply well with Ray-Ban glasses, with Project Orion, hypothetically, if we had something like that in the near future, what would you make?
Right. Actually, we are, in fact, it's great timing to say it. We're actually, in fact, now doing a bit of R&D with small budget that we have internally for AR. We know that as a business person say, the time to revenue there is still a bit far away. But again, we need to start preparing now. So we are ahead with that actually that comes in. Particularly, fitness is a no-brainer. For us, fitness in terms of being able to not only recognize what is around you so you can do fitness with it, form and posture. I think that's going to also be super important in terms of what is the right technique of what you're doing. For example, using even mirrors. That is something that I think with AR it's gonna come. But also, especially the high motion fitness, where you can take it outside,
Yeah.
say running, cycling, or even connected fitness at home. That is what we are the most excited about. There's two angles. Of course, we're taking the HUD, so the head-up display routes, which is a lot more audio and recognizing what is there, and then the 3D or the 6DoF that will come, of course, later, where it's actually a lot more interactive when things can come at you, or you can also try and assign objects and gamify them inside the experience. That is really, really neat. However, what is important for a business is what is the acceptance rate that we're going to see in the audiences. And I think focusing on head-up displays, that is what is going to be able to bring the revenue in for the first 2-3 years from now. And then with that, we will build for 6DoF as a mass market.
So I like this idea of you chasing like emerging technology, really trying to listen to that data where the market will be. So like what made you, people don't know this, like you gave a talk at DEF CON, like what made you go check out the Rising Worlds and how does that fit into sort of your framework of your model?
So there's another thing I actually didn't mention on the talk is 2 years ago, we acqui-hired. So basically it's acquiring a studio, but just hiring everyone instead of buying the studio. It was a mobile studio. I also come from the mobile world. We had always thought about Horizon World as the place where actually people would hang out. And from there, this was a notion that many dev studios had. From there, they would jump into VR experiences. That was what we thought. In the end, that started shifting or never happened, or it was just an internal assumption. But we launched a free-to-play game called Bullhit earlier in Q2. And with that, we said, okay, how can we bring more people in to this game? And also, how can we validate the new game modes that we want for this game in a faster way? Because we did the launch, it didn't meet the expectations. And it was really hard for me to justify an investment into, okay, new modes, new whatever, because it was not going to move the needle. So that's when we started looking into Horizon Worlds. And the more we started learning, we saw the actual opportunity because it's an increasingly and very fast-growing ecosystem where there's a lot of support, which is my team is having a blast with that, which is, hey, I have a question. I don't need to wait 2 weeks for an email or prepare it. I can just jump on office hours or one-to-one sessions. And then it was maybe a few days ago when you guys put out the note on being able to share the world's Instagram and Facebook. Then it's when it's all clicked with all the strategy of all the family of apps that you guys are having, that started to click. And a phrase that we said the other day during our talk was, you need to meet your players where they are at. So one of the notions that we have internally is that actually we're going to be able to funnel in some people into VR, but first, we're actually now validating there's another arm and an entire full business that we can build on this. And it's just very fast-paced. And I think that there's a way to actually interact with both too. And the design, it works pretty seamless in most of the genres and most of the ideas that we are actually having. So we're having a lot of fun with that. We are launching our first world fully developed in October. So we're extremely excited about it. It's called Tag Rodeo. And I also have a small team working on 2 other worlds at the same time. But those I cannot talk about yet.
Stay tuned. Honey, we really appreciate you being out here with us, especially in this. If you didn't know, like, it's so chaotic here.
The energy.
It is.
Yeah, the energy is
It's a
excellent.
vibe. Where can people find you? And we always like to end on this question. With you, you always like already had a little bit of script. So I want to go like 20, 30 years. How do you see the art industry like being in the future?
Okay. So I will switch the order first.
Yeah.
So actually, it's really hard right now to even think about 5 years from now. But the 20 to 30 years, all I think about is technology is going to feel seamless. I do not know what the form factor is going to be. I know it's going to be, the friction is not even going to be there. The same way we now don't even think about how to reach out to someone sending a message. Now actually interacting with someone that will feel physically close, I think that that's going to be something that is a given, and we're not going to realize. So I think that is the part that I'm the most excited about, being seamless and how all the experiences are going to be able to customize to everyone's taste. And that means that everyone is going to be able to also be a creator and sharing the perspectives of one another. I think that is going to grow and become so easy that it's going to be amazing to get to understand other people relating in different ways, not just talking, but also showing what actually your values and your beliefs are. I can remind you. Oh yeah. So the studio is Otters Lab. It's not Otters. It's ODD.
I made that mistake.
Yeah.
Just like I used to call you Jamie.
Correct. So Otters Lab in any socials, and then I myself, I am Jaime Pichardo. So it's Jaime. But you could just find Otters Lab, and then you will see my face around there. Thank you guys. This is it.
Like and subscribe.